Have you ever wondered why some people feel more alive the moment the air turns cold while everyone else is dreaming about sunshine and beaches? What if your love for winter is revealing secrets about your personality that even your closest friends have never noticed? Most people believe favorite seasons are just personal preferences, but psychology suggests they can quietly reflect the way your mind processes emotions, relationships, and even stress. What if choosing winter over summer says far more about your inner world than the clothes you wear or the weather you enjoy? Could it be that the people who crave snow, cold mornings, gray skies, and long nights are wired differently in ways that science is only beginning to understand? Before you decide this doesn't describe you, ask yourself one question that might change everything. Why do you feel strangely peaceful when the world becomes quieter, colder, and slower? The answer might reveal more about your personality than years of self-reflection ever could. One of the first psychological traits common among winter lovers is a deep appreciation for calm environments. While many people gain energy from crowds, loud events, and constant activity, winter lovers often recharge through silence and meaningful moments. Their minds naturally seek environments where distractions become weaker and thoughts become clearer. This doesn't automatically mean they are introverts, but they often value emotional depth over endless social stimulation. Psychologists have long observed that quieter environments allow reflective personalities to think more creatively and process emotions more effectively. Perhaps that explains why so many writers, artists, philosophers, and deep thinkers describe winter as their favorite season. Another surprising trait is emotional resilience. Winter can be physically uncomfortable, darker and less inviting, yet people who genuinely enjoy it often develop a stronger tolerance for discomfort. Instead of avoiding difficult emotions, they frequently learn to sit with them, understand them, and grow through them. This emotional endurance often makes them appear calm during stressful situations when others begin to panic. Have you ever noticed someone who remains incredibly composed while everyone else is overwhelmed? Sometimes that quiet strength reflects years of becoming comfortable with uncomfortable experiences. Another fascinating psychological pattern involves imagination. Winter naturally encourages people to spend more time indoors where external stimulation decreases and internal imagination becomes stronger. When fewer distractions compete for attention, the brain often begins creating stories, solving problems, and exploring new ideas. This is one reason many creative breakthroughs happen during long periods of solitude. Winter lovers often don't fear being alone because their own thoughts provide endless conversation. However, there is another side to this personality that many people never discuss. The same imagination that creates incredible ideas can also create excessive overthinking. Many people who love winter admit they replay conversations, analyze people's behavior, and wonder about hidden meanings behind simple actions. Their minds become detectives, searching for patterns that others completely overlook. Sometimes this ability protects them from manipulation because they notice subtle emotional signals before anyone else. Other times it traps them inside endless mental loops that are difficult to escape. This is where emotional awareness becomes incredibly important. People who balance deep thinking with emotional control often transform sensitivity into wisdom instead of anxiety. Another surprising characteristic is authenticity. Winter lovers frequently value genuine relationships over large social circles. They usually prefer one honest conversation over 10 meaningless interactions. This preference isn't about disliking people, but about protecting emotional energy from superficial connections. Psychology suggests emotionally intelligent individuals often become more selective with their relationships as they mature. They stop chasing attention and begin searching for understanding. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you never miss another mind-blowing psychology video. Now let's explore one of the most misunderstood traits of people who love winter. Many people assume quiet individuals lack confidence, but silence and insecurity are not the same thing. In fact, confident people often feel less pressure to constantly prove themselves. Winter lovers frequently observe far more than they reveal. While others compete for attention, they quietly study personalities, emotions, and social dynamics. This ability sometimes makes them surprisingly difficult to manipulate. Why? Because people who observe carefully often recognize emotional games before becoming emotionally involved. Dark psychology teaches us that manipulation usually succeeds when emotions move faster than awareness. Winter lovers often slow everything down before making important emotional decisions. That small pause can completely change the outcome of relationships, careers, and personal growth. Another fascinating trait involves appreciation for meaningful routines. Cold mornings often encourage habits like reading, journaling, exercising indoors, drinking coffee, or spending uninterrupted time learning something new. These routines slowly shape identity over months and years. Success rarely arrives through dramatic moments, but through ordinary habits repeated consistently. Winter lovers often understand this lesson better than they realize. However, loving winter does not mean every psychological effect is positive. Long periods of darkness can increase feelings of loneliness for some individuals. People who naturally spend more time reflecting can occasionally become isolated if they stop reaching out to others. This is why emotional balance matters more than seasonal preference. Solitude can heal you when chosen intentionally, but isolation can quietly drain your emotional health when it becomes your only comfort. The healthiest winter lovers know when to enjoy silence and when to reconnect with people who genuinely care about them. Perhaps the most beautiful psychological trait of all is appreciation. Winter teaches people to notice small comforts that often go unnoticed during faster seasons. A warm drink, a peaceful evening, a heartfelt conversation, a favorite book, gentle snowfall outside the window. These simple experiences activate gratitude because they remind us happiness rarely depends on constant excitement. Modern life constantly tells us to chase more, consume more, and stay busy every second. Winter quietly whispers something completely different. Slow down, pay attention, listen to yourself, protect your peace. That message may explain why so many thoughtful people find comfort in colder seasons. Perhaps winter isn't simply a season at all. Perhaps it represents a psychological state where reflection becomes more valuable than distraction, where peace becomes more attractive than popularity, where emotional depth becomes stronger than temporary excitement. If you've always loved winter, maybe you've never just been choosing colder weather. Maybe you've been choosing a slower, quieter, and more meaningful way of experiencing life. And maybe that's the hidden psychological trait that makes winter lovers so unforgettable. The next time someone asks why you prefer winter over summer, perhaps the real answer has nothing to do with temperature. Perhaps your mind simply feels most at home when the world finally becomes quiet enough to hear itself. Thanks for watching. Wait for the next video. Until then, goodbye.